The Honda Goldwing has almost every feature a touring motorcyclist could want. I've made videos praising my 2008 model, but I've also done a two-part review that objectively points out the downsides I can think of, because as with anything, there's always room for improvement. The Goldwing was made to be Honda's technology showcase, and I'd imagine there are plenty of features at their disposal which they could include on this bike, perhaps from the automotive side of their business. That got me thinking about what else Honda could add to their two-wheel flagship if they really wanted to go all out. Some of the suggestions in this video are available aftermarket, and some are already offered by other motorcycle manufacturers, but I'm not aware that Honda offers any of them for the Goldwing. Other ideas here are over the top and surely not worth the added complexity or weight, but I thought I'd mention them for fun. This is just a thought exercise. So here are some of the ideas I have for features or factory options Honda could add to the Goldwing to make the ultimate motorcycle even better. I'm surprised Honda hasn't already given the GL adjustable handlebars. As designed, this bike is as close as you can get to being comfortable for people of all shapes and sizes, but it's impossible to make one that perfectly fits everybody, especially over long rides. A common complaint among vertically challenged Goldwing riders like me is upper back and shoulder pain after a few hours in the saddle with the stock handlebars. I cured this by installing a set of handlebar risers. It's surprising how much difference it can make when you move the bars just a centimeter or two. Of course, that's why many cars have tilt and telescopic steering wheels. So why not make the Goldwing handlebars adjustable from the factory? Other bikes have this feature, and products like handlebars are available in the aftermarket. But if you just paid $30,000 for a bike you expected to offer the ultimate rider comfort out of the box, would you want to throw down another $1,000 just to make it fit you? One complaint people often have about Goldwings is that the upright seating position means the rearward placement of the footrest can make it cramped for riders with longer legs. You can buy aftermarket lowered foot pegs now, and it should be possible for Honda to make footrests that can be easily adjusted by a few centimeters, which would make a huge difference. With Honda's engineering savvy, they must be able to come up with a design where the gear shifter and rear brake lever would move with the pegs. Of course, highway pegs or boards are common add-ons, and I sometimes find mine useful, but I prefer to do most of my riding with my feet on the factory pegs. And I'm betting most taller people would do the same if it could be made more comfortable for them. Many bikes already have adjustable seats. Even the 2005 Suzuki Bandit I sold last year had rubber blocks under the seat pan that can be flipped over to add or take away a small bit of seat height, which can make a big difference. I wouldn't think it would be a stretch for Honda to design a Goldwing seat that could be moved forward, backward, up or down by even a small amount. Also, we bolster our pillion seat with a rolled-up t-shirt. Adjustable lumbar supports would be appreciated by some people suffering from back pain. Backup and blind spot cameras are available on most new cars now, so why not include them on the Goldwing? You can buy aftermarket camera kits for bikes, but Honda could go one better by integrating them into the bodywork and connecting them to the bike's electronics. This could include one camera pointing forward and one to the rear, with a switch on the handlebars to show the camera images on the bike's dashboard display. My GL has the best rear view mirrors I've ever seen on a motorcycle, but a camera that points straight backwards would still be nice to have. And a forward-facing camera would be useful in tight situations, because there's a significant blind spot a few meters directly ahead of these bikes. Like a car dash cam, these cameras could save footage leading up to an accident or after someone without a key fob touches the bike. Adaptive cruise control is a surprisingly useful feature. Fixed speed cruise control is a pain in highway traffic when everyone around you has an unsteady accelerator foot. This isn't a radical idea. Some bikes have adaptive cruise control now, and there's speculation that Honda will be adding it to a few models in 2024. Of course, collision avoidance can be built into the package. Sometimes when riding in the dark, you need just a little bit of ambient light. Maybe you can't see an unlighted switch. Maybe you need to adjust your phone mount. Or maybe you'd like to read a book to pass the time on long rides. It wouldn't be difficult for Honda to address this by mounting a few carefully aimed LEDs someplace on the fairing or the windshield. This one is in the over-the-top category, but we've all been in those situations where you're sitting under the hot sun in traffic, wearing all your gear, and you can't get a breath of cool air. If Honda were to put a few outlets in just the right places, they could blow cold air on you in these situations. Better yet, Honda could put its wind tunnels to use in designing a cooling air distribution system that even works at highway speeds. Cooled motorcycle seats are available now, so this isn't such a leap. My Goldwing has a comfort package, which includes warm air vents, as well as electrically heated seats and grips. However, my bike's warm air vents don't make a noticeable difference because they're passive and don't move much air. An automotive-type heating system using engine coolant wouldn't be a huge step for a Goldwing. Of course, the ductwork, piping, coils, dampers, fans, and controls for heating or AC would add plenty of weight. But as I said, this is just a thought exercise. For such a heavy bike, it's surprising how easy it is to lift my wing onto its center stand. But some people might not find it as easy, and since we're just spitballing here, the stand could be actuated by an electric motor or hydraulics. Powered center stands are already available, and the designers were considering this feature for the 1975 GL1000, but they scratched it due to weight concerns. While we're on the subject, a powered side stand wouldn't be the worst idea. It's quite easy to not put my side stand down all the way. Maybe it has a weak spring or needs some grease, but I have to keep this in mind every time I use it. When you're leaning a big bike onto its side stand, you pass a point where you're going to pull or break something painful if you try to stop it. It's not fun when the side stand unexpectedly folds up because some naive new Goldwing owner didn't put it down all the way. Don't ask me how I know. Riding at night, it's common to get the glare of headlights filling your mirrors. I have to shield my eyes with a hand whenever some distracted driver approaches me from behind with their high beams lit. A handlebar switch to flip the mirrors from day to night mode should be doable. Or the mirrors could be dimmed automatically, like those in some cars. Yes, I could just reach out and adjust the mirrors, but so could a car driver. And yet most cars have had anti-glare day-night rear-view mirrors for decades. I'm not going to get into the pros and cons of running a car tire on a motorcycle, but plenty of people are doing it because big bikes like Goldwings go through rear tires quickly. Maybe a tire that lasts 10 or 15,000 kilometers is good enough for most bikers, but some GL owners cover that distance in a few weeks. Everything else about these bikes is over-engineered so they can reliably cross continents. So why shouldn't they have over-engineered tires? We bikers are programmed to think that we have to buy short-life tires, but how many of us would buy a set of car tires if it only lasted 15,000 kilometers? Surely, with the cutting-edge know-how that Honda and the big tire makers have, a motorcycle tire could be made to give a safe amount of grip for at least 40,000 kilometers, and a rim could be made to fit it. After all, it's not unusual for big manufacturers to turn successful aftermarket products into factory options. Yes, the tire manufacturers want to sell more, and making a long-range tire might seem against their interest. But this unique product could increase their market share, and they could charge more for it. The Goldwing already weighs over 400 kilograms. Adding new features would make it even heavier, worsen its fuel economy, and drive up its price. And of course, many of the above ideas would reinforce the stereotype that a Goldwing is just a car on two wheels. But I don't believe most GL owners care about stereotypes. They just want the best touring bike possible. As I said, it's fun to think out of the box, and we're just spitballing here. Surely Honda already has the sensible ideas mentioned here, if any, in the works. But it's well known that the Goldwing's evolution, especially in the early years, was heavily influenced by customer feedback. So there's no harm in tossing around ideas to get the creative juices flowing. Who knows, if you leave a comment with a good suggestion, maybe a Honda employee will read it and perhaps someday we'll see your idea in a new and improved version of the best motorcycle ever made. Thanks for watching.